Yo, I know it's been a while, but what better way to get into the swing of things than to talk about Sonic. Now wait, before you click off, because I know it's Sonic and people have said everything there is to say and critiqued him in every single way possible, let me ask you this. Will you allow me to cook for a little bit? I promise I won't. Well, I promise I'll try not to use the same points that have been done to death. I'll do my best to avoid talking about Sonic 06 in any way possible. Keyword is I'll try, okay? I'll try, no promises. Also, a follow-up to that MK video is definitely coming soon, and I'll be the first one to tell you that video didn't age well at all, and yeah, fucking RS. So yeah, let's start this video off. Let's talk about Sega's pathing. Let's take it far back a little bit, alright? You pitched 2 Sonic episodes of what was supposed to be a 40-episode Sonic anime, alright? And then you double back and cancel that. And in 1996, that is what we know as the Sonic OVA, alright? A lot of people use the Sonic OVA as the golden standard for how classic Sonic should act in any media that is to come afterwards. It has a great balance of impactful scenes while also maintaining that comedic flair of Sonic at the time. I'm gonna willfully choose to ignore Sonic Underground, the Sat AM show, and the Sonic the Hedgehog show. Not because I think they're bad, but they're not really adjacent with the main point that I'm trying to get across. Now let's fast forward to 2003. Sonic X was created, and naturally it got the same treatment as a lot of other things created at that time. People start hating it after 10 years. I have very fond memories of Sonic X, mainly because I used to wake up in the mornings and watch it on 4Kids, along with like Dragon Ball Z Kai, Yu-Gi-Oh! You already know, bro. And of course the show had a lot of flaws, but it was a lot of people's first introduction to the Hedgehog, and one of the key factors of people becoming obsessive with him. The show did really good in the States, but it was received pretty badly in Japan, even though a lot of people say that the Japan sub is better than the, US dub, but who cares? All in all, not bad, okay? Pretty good step in the right direction. You're gonna hear that a lot. One Wreck-It Ralph cameo later, and we're at Sonic Boom, the notorious Sonic show. Infamous even. Now with this one, you go one or two ways, okay? You either love the show and hold it as a cult classic, or you cringe at the show every time any scene plays ever. I'm a bit in the middle ground, but that's neither here nor there, okay? Let me get to my main point. After Sonic Boom and, the catastrophic failure or whatever, a lot of people were pretty hungry for some good Sonic media, whether that be in shows or games. I'll get to games after I get past shows. Now we drop dash into Sonic Mania territory. The animatic that came along with the game sparked a lot of hope in people's hearts. It ignited an even bigger flair for people to want something similar to the Sonic OVA or even adjacent to Sonic X. They tap danced around the idea, they teased it a little, and then they announced the Sonic movie, okay? Now, I'm not gonna get into hating the Sonic movie because there's no point in doing that. It was a movie that was in production probably long before the Sonic Mania anime. I don't know, okay? You can background check that for yourself. I'm not diving into that territory regardless. If Sonic fans are anything, they are very flip-floppy, but in this specific case, I will attest for myself that nearly everybody on my TL was just asking for 2D Sonic. Give us 2D Sonic, give us this, please, please. We want the stylized toy Sonic back, yada, 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 this, that, and the third, whatever, right? Then they do a 2-step into giving us Sonic Prime. And lo and behold, it is a Netflix original show. They give us a mediocre first season, and then after that, it just turns into a dumpster fire and it's trash. And then the main writer just tap dances around the, canonicity of the series as a whole, and in turn jumbles it all up and makes it not make any sense whatsoever. Now in this case, you can't even argue that Sega was chasing money. Netflix was already a sinking ship in the first place, which loops together to my main point. Sega has some of the worst pathing of all time when it comes to anything Sonic related, and I mean anything. Let's take it somewhere else.
Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing!
I really could have went with the easy route of just talking about Sonic Riders and how we went from, peak to absolutely nothing. But I chose the kart racing side because I feel like it's not touched on a lot, and I feel like it hammers home the point a lot more directly you know. Now, I'll admit, I'm a little biased on the first game. I played it for hundreds upon hundreds of hours on the Wii as a kid, but I won't let that cloud my judgment. I am aware that Transform is definitely better than the first game, okay? Even if the PC port does not work for me and I had to do witchcraft to play with my friends. The happy memories from Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing are cemented into my brain. They had deep cuts I didn't even expect them to do. Like, what is a Bonanza Bros, bruh? Then we fast forward to Transform, and they improve on the game in every single way except for All-Stars because, you know, we don't have transformations anymore. But that's neither here nor there. Now, with the success of these two games, they stat pad for many, many years to come. And then guess what they give us? SpongeBob's boating Forza, TSR, Team Sonic Racing. Trash, lifeless, rendered with bugs. No crossover characters like All-Stars Racing because it's just Team Sonic Racing. The opposite of what anybody asked for, and of course it was very unsuccessful. It didn't have the stylistic flair of Sonic Riders, it didn't have the fun factor of All-Stars Racing. It was just there. It was a scrap on the ground because people wanted another kart racing game, but they didn't deliver on what we actually wanted from another kart racing game. So yeah, Sega has terrible pathing and they get away with it nearly every single time, which is why we have things like Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Prime. Now let's take it to a side of Sonic that I'm more well versed in, okay? The Sonic fan game side of things. Sonic fan games are in a constant state of high, low, tech demo. Let me make this classic. Let me make this play like Frontiers. Let me make this mid. Let me take this little engine and then put it in an asset dump and then make people buy it on Patreon. Sonic Omens. But on the bright side, we have things like Sonic GT and Sonic Storm, and you know, my personal GOAT, my lion, New Trojic Panic. I'm really hyped for that. I like what they're doing. They're making 2D Sonic actually, you know, unique. And then you have things that end up like Project Heroes, you know, pretty cool concept, promising engine, and then, you know, they turn it into classic Sonic and then nobody cares anymore and it dies. But not before getting stomped on the ground and the creator getting clowned for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. It was pretty crazy, bro. At the time, people were way too jumpy about engines, which is why you have crash outs like the Infinity engine, okay? The engine is half-baked, okay? And it definitely needed a lot more rounding around the edges. And then you have things like Sonic Omens that pop up. Voice acting, mediocre cutscenes, bad gameplay after like the first 2 stages, and then you have like a little setup where you have to pay for early access on Patreon that can get the whole entire Sonic fan game scene shut down completely, bro. Very stupid. We're in a very aimless state of Sonic right now, and it's been like that for a little bit. But that's pretty much all I had to say. The sentiment has been done to death. We all know that Sonic is in a very, very bad place right now, you know? But he had a good first step. Yeah, you can tell I'm not optimistic for Sonic, but you know what I am optimistic for? Sparking Zero.
Up in here with my tool, they gon' find you in the ditch, yeah. Straight from Hyrule, you not from it, you a glitch, yeah. Man of my rules, running with the misfits, yeah. Please do not misclick, that's gon' get you hit quick, yeah. Death on death, this God, ain't no variation, it's Lord X Lord. I keep a paradise, so I X out of Clyde. And my name Lucy, when I talk you nod. Space Channel 556, going coast to coast, tryna run off on this lit, no Leo Co. Palm tree, pinning how the pole dance when it blow. Crawling for their rupees, yeah, they look like ants on the floor. Shotty at my waistband, so to get a face cam. Sidekicks all on my side, not using day hands. My grip on a 5 look like, are you faking? Cause I'm struggling to the depths, so